Hey Louch,
Hello, Dave.
did you hear that the pitch for England's game on Monday night's waterlogged?
No.
It's alright though. Gareth Southgate's going to send out his subs.
That's terrible.
Hello again, welcome along to the second episode of Armchair Fancast Does Russia 2018. Dave Bradshaw here, along with Alex Dugan and Alex Louch, two of our regular podcast contributors. This is your first time on video, boys. How are you doing, Alex?
I'm pretty fucking scared of the lights.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
We've got these big spotlights.
It's pretty
beaming
pretty
down.
dazzling, to be honest, Dave.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We've just been, speaking of dazzling, we've just been down the pub watching Spain and Portugal just before we filmed this. That was alright, wasn't it?
That was pretty good. There was some questionable decisions, of which Louch thinks they're all fine, but no. And then also some fantastic goals.
We'll get onto this in a minute, but I mean, best game of the World Cup so far, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
Without any doubt whatsoever.
Absolutely.
Louch is here. Now, we'll get on to the World Cup, Louch, but one thing I've been meaning to say to you is you're a Newcastle fan.
I am.
And that wasn't what I was meaning to tell you, because I'm sure you already know
yes.
that. For the
aware.
second season in a row, the Premier League season is starting with Newcastle versus Tottenham.
Oh,
We're
great.
going to be
We can
enemies.
solidify our friendship over a summer in anticipation of that fixture.
An absolute thrashing.
Yeah. I mean, things are good, Dave. I
didn't ask you. Didn't care.
I don't really care.
Go on, well, tell me. No,
so
tell me.
I
How
know
are
you're
you?
the host, but
How are you? Go on.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I finished my masters yesterday.
Oh, good.
I've got holidays booked till summer. The World Cup
great.
started. I've seen
Yeah.
every minute so far.
Yeah.
But Mike Ashley still is the owner of Newcastle.
Yeah.
So all we need is that to finish it now. I've spoken on the podcast. The champagne is in the fridge. It's ready for the day he finally pisses
It's
off.
ready for the new badge. Is
Yeah.
what it's ready for as well.
Are you getting a new badge? You like Leeds?
No.
The badge that Louch designed. Have you not submitted
Oh.
that?
Oh, the
Three.
punch tours.
There was one on our
We're going
podcast
back.
last season where Louch designed a new.
Fair play.
Maybe we'll put it on Twitter for those of you who weren't here at the time.
Yeah.
I've got a
Can
couple
I
of stories.
just
Yes, you
point
can.
out as well, whilst we're on the subject vaguely of their starting fixtures, Man United, 20 years ago, 98-99, who did we start at home to?
I don't know. Why would I know that?
Oh, God.
Leicester City.
Right,
2018-2019 season, who United starting at home to?
Leicester City.
Leicester City. It's
Wow.
written in the fucking stars.
So
Dave.
you're
It's written in
saying
the stars.
you're going to win the
Wow.
treble?
I'm
Because
going
you're
to lay
starting
down now.
against Leicester
United
City.
have the strongest chance of winning the treble that we've had in recent years.
Except for one major problem.
That being
You're way shitter than City. Anyway,
really. City going to start the season pretty crap.
This
Anyway,
isn't about
let's
Premier
talk about the
League.
Premier League. Shut
Stop
up.
it!
I've got a couple-
United fan clinging to the glory days.
Back in the day when the England team was made up of
United players.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of stories here for you.
Great.
This one that are World Cup related. I don't know if you heard about this, but Costa Rica played Belgium on Monday
I'll
night.
go with yes.
Yeah, while we were filming our first episode, actually. Costa Rica boss Oscar Ramirez, it turns out, doesn't know who Eden Hazard is.
What?
So Hazard, I think, set up
Okay.
the assist for Belgium's first goal. Belgium, I think, ran out 4-1 winners, ultimately. And he told reporters afterwards, did Ramirez, this is a direct quote, the 10 did us a lot of damage. I don't know his name. The number 10 did it. You're going to the World Cup. I don't know when they could meet, but you might meet Belgium in the quarterfinals or something if you get out of your group. Unbelievable. Idiot. Another little World Cup story for you. This one's confused me as well. So, VAR officials, right, are going to wear full match kit
Love it.
while
Love
sitting
it.
in the studio.
Everything. Well, are we talking about socks and socks and shorts as well?
Yeah, so
That's ridiculous.
the boss of the referees at the World Cup, I don't know if you know this, is Collina. Pierluigi Collina. Remember the bald, scary referee?
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's
good
great,
call.
but
Yeah.
this is his decision. So
I'm all in.
He said, I could read you the quote, but it's boring. But basically what he said is that if they don't wear the full uniform that the match day officials are wearing, then somehow they won't take their jobs as seriously, so they have to feel like they're part of the team.
No, I understand that to some extent. I think sitting there in socks and shorts is ridiculous. Like
They were in studs.
I hope they've got shin pads on.
But your fourth official stands there in tracksuit, we're holding the ball up, and they're just as involved as everyone else in the team.
I'm all in. I'm a big fan of this. I think all officials. I think the managers should be in full kit. I think they should shin pads.
We're
gloves.
We're
If you're a
ditching
goalkeeping
the
coach,
suits.
you have to wear goalie gloves, like, just to designate.
In bed.
This is great.
Are you are you one of those full kit wankers when you go to?
I love it.
Newcastle?
I love it.
Do you wear?
I've got a lot of time for that. Also, when you see the kid that's too old to be a full kit wanker,
Yeah.
like 15, 16 years old, and
26,
he's still
yeah.
in the stand with his socks up to his neck. Great.
Brilliant.
Great.
Now, last episode, as you might have seen, we had a new segment called Wish You Were Here, where we looked at if we had any sightings of players who didn't make it to the World Cup. We found Hector Bellerin at the F1.
Yeah.
We've now found, it's not particularly as funny as the Bellerin one, but we found Fabregas in a BBC studio tonight during the Spain-Portugal one.
Dressed as a communist.
Was he?
Like, dressed to come, or it could be the airline pilot.
You're gonna have
I think
to,
the tabs on the shoulders.
The tabs on the gold start. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
He did.
I thought he looked good, clean
There was a bit of
shaven.
Brezhnev in there.
Okay, we'll get a picture of it now. That's for the edit, and we'll add that in. But I do have a new segment that I've just created now, based on something we just saw, which is lookalikes. Now the Morocco played today on Friday, just as we're filming. I forget his name even, but he has an uncanny resemblance. Let's get shots up of the two of them to Jaime Lannister from Game of Thrones. If you know anything about Game of Thrones and know what the Jaime Lannister character has been up to, it's not necessarily a particularly
dark.
flattering.
Pretty dark.
It's a bit dark, but a pretty handsome fella.
Yeah.
You got to say it. There's no. He can be dark as you like, but he's still got the looks on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose he did try and start a fight on the sideline today. So maybe he's personifying.
His transformation's been incredible. Like 14 years ago, 2004, he was the manager of Cambridge United, and now 14 years later, he's the manager of Morocco.
That's what we're here for. Armchair Fancast, niche Cambridge United chat.
That'll please
Gold.
Tom's our resident non-league.
He's not non-league. Tom was on the show sometimes. He's Coventry City.
Resident non-Premier League professional.
You've just wildly insulted him.
Coventry deserves to be non-league.
Yeah, well, there we are.
Wow.
Anyway, so interesting times already in the World Cup. We've got a lot to talk about. Here's what's coming up on today's show.
After his performance in the Iberian derby, can anyone stop this from being Ronaldo's World Cup?
Dave and Dugan picked their England team that are going to go all the way in the World Cup, and I picked the team that are going to be dumped out in the group stages.
All that and much, much more coming up on today's Armchair Fancast. All that and much, much more coming up on today's show. But as always here on Armchair Fancast, we're going to start things out with the Goal Mouth Scramble, where we talk about the hottest stories of the moment in the footballing world in quick fire fashion. Now, on our first show, we did it like 3-minute segments. We've decided that's a little bit too short, so we're going to do 5 segments of 4 minutes each this time around. Gentlemen, are you ready for today's Goal Mouth Scramble?
Let's go.
Here comes the whistle. All right, the whistle's gone, we're underway, and where else to start than that wonderful Iberian derby on Friday night, Spain-Portugal. The moment the World Cup of 2018 really properly got underway with a 3-3 draw, Portugal pulling it back, relying, as they so often do, on the magic of one Cristiano Ronaldo. First of all, Dugan, was it overall, is a draw the right result based on the balance of the game?
Based on what the players exerted, probably yes, but I cannot help but think that a goalkeeping error gifted Portugal a draw. De Gea's blunder, which is so uncharacteristic, and it's quite good he's done it for Spain. Hopefully that form doesn't continue into next season. But he's done 2 blunders in the last 2 games that have gifted goals to the opposition. I think that's given Portugal an easy way out of what was a fairly difficult game for them up until the point where Ronaldo scored that absolute worldie.
Let's talk about a couple of the big decisions from the game. First of all, in the first few minutes there, where Portugal got the early lead for a penalty, Dugan has been furious all night saying that Ronaldo dived, and Louch, I know
dived.
you disagree.
He didn't dive.
He did dive.
He didn't dive.
Absolutely dived.
This isn't high quality punditry, is it though?
Ronaldo's leg. Look, he went forward, he went into the box, and he moved his right leg like this out there, so to purposely catch the leg of the defender. That is not a foul. The defender did not actually go forward and make a tackle on them. Ronaldo moved his leg to make the foul. That's a dive if I've ever seen one.
No, basically.
Why not?
Because but for his leg having been in Ronaldo's way, there would have been no penalty.
Yeah.
Like, sorry to take legal causation.
So you're saying essentially that yes, Ronaldo didn't have to go down, but he was within his rights to, given where the defender left his leg.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was in his, okay, he might have exaggerated where he placed his foot to absolutely smash into the defender's leg.
Smash.
But he
Come
could,
on.
if
It was
he'd
a
have
brush at
simply
best.
run on, he would have taken the challenge. The penalty was a penalty. Right, that's just one talking point.
That's not the biggest. That's not the biggest talking point of the
It was an
game. The biggest
amazing
talking point of the game is Costa's.
Yeah, like moments
elbow to
later,
the
right?
face.
The elbow that led right before the 1-1. They VAR'd that, though, didn't they? And didn't seem to think there was anything wrong with it.
What is going on with VAR?
Go on. Well, first of all, was it a foul? Presumably, you think yes.
Yes. Elbowing someone in the face happens to be a foul in football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I know. I saw Gary Lineker on Twitter, for example, saying it wasn't a foul. If you're not sure it's a foul, you can't give it.
Well,
That's not the
I
point
was
of VAR.
pretty sure that was a foul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason why it can't be a foul is because it happened to Pepe, and Pepe's a twat.
He led with the elbow. And talking on VAR, pre-tournament, everyone's saying in Italy it's worked great.
Yeah.
They've cut yellow cards, they've cut simulation, they've cut diving, they've cut arguing with the referee. It's been great. But it's failed at the first hurdle again. So the
entire idea of VAR is that it's set up so that the referee on the pitch can overrule whatever advice they're given. That's not the point. The point is that they are forced to review the things, and the video referee official gives the proper advice that is then adhered to.
What do you think?
I think it was definitely a foul. I don't know why VAR didn't get it. The Ronaldo thing, I think it's a 50-50 call, dude. And he definitely could have stayed on his feet. I'm not denying that.
Yeah.
But you see that given week in, week out. In the
That
Premier League.
shouldn't be given. Let's not say.
But under the way
50-50.
the game is, that's it's not a ridiculous decision based on
No,
precedent.
it's not a ridiculous decision as the Costa decision was a ridiculous decision, but it's still one that should be questionable.
Very quickly, whistle's about to go, but Iran. So Iran finished this first round of Group B games top of the group, unbelievably, after their second ever win in the World Cup finals. Congratulations to them. But is a draw between Spain and Portugal the best result for them in terms of their chances of going through? Yes, very quickly.
It sets them up to have just a very quick slip from another team, and that's pretty good. Like Morocco's incentive now is to put forward and create some kind of problem for the other teams. It may not happen, but Iran are sitting pretty nicely as it stands.
But Spain and Portugal pumped the other two teams, and it's game over for Iran.
Yeah.
I mean, a draw would have suited them well. Take a draw over Spain and Portugal, and you're through. I think this is a problem for Iran.
All right, well, there we go. Let's find out what happens as we go into the second. It's exciting, though. If nothing else, it's exciting.
Yeah. It started.
Yeah, it has.
Started.
I had a big smile on my face all evening today watching that game.
Yeah.
Group B is well and truly underway. It's intriguing as well as the World Cup continues. Time to talk about Group A. Now, Russia, unexpectedly, I think, for most people, started out with a 5-0 win against an admittedly horrendous Saudi Arabia team in the opening game on Thursday afternoon. Uruguay then with a fairly undeserved late winner, it has to be said, against a Salah-less Egypt on Friday afternoon. So as we end the first round of games in Group A, Russia on top on goal difference, Uruguay in second. Is that how Group A is going to end, or are there more twists and turns? I think Saudi Arabia, we can say, Louch, probably are dead and buried already based on what we've seen. Can Egypt get back into this, or will that Uruguay goal, that late goal, be fatal for them, do you think?
Yeah, so Egypt's such a fascinating one. The whole game, the crowd, big Egypt crowd there, just going, Salah, bring him on. And the night before, the coach had said, there's a 100% chance he'll play.
Yeah.
I mean, alternative facts. He's in that business.
Nice.
But I've had a little look into this, and I think Eid and Ramadan are a situation in this World Cup.
What do you mean?
And I'd like to say Eid Mubarak to all of our Islamic Armchair Fancast fans. But Ramadan is ongoing. It finishes this weekend, but it's lunar, so it finishes at different time zones, different countries, this, that and the other. And the Muslim-dominated countries there's an effect of it.
Because they're fasting, you mean? Right?
Yeah, fasting, can't even take on liquids in some cases. And there's different dispensations. A lot of the Saudi players are doing it after the World Cup, although you might not have noticed from yesterday because they were rubbish.
Bad.
But Tunisia, I know we'll come on to talk about the England game. No dispensation for them.
No.
Was it the same for Iran as well, right?
No dispensation for them. So you've got players that St. Petersburg, where Iran played, 18 hours of sunlight today.
And like 25 degrees, like warm places
It's
as well.
a factor. It's a factor in this.
Isn't there something, because I'm sure I read about Salah, that because this was an issue during the Champions League final, right, or in the build-up to it, and wasn't there something about you can get, I'm way out of my depth here, but can't you get some kind of dispensation?
Right, we're into Islamic theology.
Yeah, well, you can get dispensation, but the point is that it wasn't granted for the majority of players who are playing.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
But then after this weekend, it's a non-factor then, right? Because
even Mubarak's. But if all your prep for the World Cup is done in conditions where you aren't going flat out, which a lot of the players aren't, then I think it's going to have a big effect on how they perform. We'll see England, Tunisia.
Uruguay were probably the favourites, for most people's favourites for the group before it all started.
Yeah.
Dugan, they weren't that impressive, were they?
They were terrible. It was a very dull game up until the point where they scored, and then the vast overreaction from the entire squad piling in.
It was relief, though.
It was relief, but like to have that much amount of relief for scoring late on in their first World Cup game. No, I think it shows how precarious position they were painted in. Bad. I have a very much dislike for Uruguay. Mostly because Suarez is a twat, but and that kind of penetrates the whole team. Especially, and also, if you look at that Uruguay team, the majority of the game they played very, very centrally. There was no width to their play. They were not able to get past at all, and that they rely on Suarez and Cavani to be able to make the goals for them. And the problem is when you rely on two centre forwards, you don't have those players around them. They're two players who are rooted to the penalty box. If you look at Messi, who drops back, Ronaldo, who plays on the wing and then comes back in, they have that route forward for teams that are dominated by one of their players. But those two, they sit there, they expect the stuff to come to them, and it doesn't work. And for Uruguay, that's going to become a massive problem for them going forward.
All right, whistle went, but very quickly, which two teams are getting out of Group A?
Uruguay and Egypt still.
All right, Louch.
Iran.
Iran aren't in that group.
Oh, no, sorry. Russia.
Yeah, Uruguay and Russia.
Yeah,
Right.
and I hope they do. It's their World Cup.
Agree with you, Louch, I'm afraid. Dugan,
Sorry.
You're wrong. All right, let's move on. All right, we can't avoid talking about this for any longer. It's the elephant in the room. Yeah. We are just, by the time you're watching this, possibly hours away from England's opening game of the World Cup. I will be pacing nervously up and down. That is how I plan on spending my entire Monday. Let's talk about the team. So we're going to do this over the next couple of segments on today's Scramble. I want to talk about, first of all, the back five. Well, back six, if you include the goalkeeper. Let's keep this to the formation we know Southgate is going to play, at least at the back half of the field, where it's going to be three centre-backs and then wing-backs. Who do we have? First of all, goalkeeper. Anyone disagreeing with Pickford?
No.
Based on the two friendlies as well, because three keepers played in those two warm-up games.
Pickford was fine. There's nothing to discredit him within there.
They're much for muchness, aren't they? But he's Pickford, so I don't have a strong opinion against that.
Fine. What's more interesting, I think, is the defence, right? Yeah. So let's talk about, first of all, the centre-backs. So we can assume, I think, he's going to go with Walker as right centre-back.
Yeah.
And then Stones. The question then maybe is who's the last of those three centre-backs? Will it be Cahill? Will it be Jones? It could be Maguire. Who would you put in there? Alex Louch.
I go Phil Jones. I haven't seen enough from Harry Maguire. I think Gary Cahill for the Belgium game. because he knows Lukaku's game pretty well.
On that thing, Jones knows Lukaku's game pretty well as well. Having played this season.
Yeah. I think it's a better matchup for Gary Cahill in the air.
Yeah,
I think, and to organise, just to go man on man, and to let the others take the runners.
Yeah.
Cahill's threat going forward.
Cahill at the end of the season.
Yeah, he had a great end of season, and I'm saying this, it's at the front of my mind because he just scored in those warm-up games. But actually, Cahill's scoring record for England is pretty good overall. He's on set pieces, he goes up for corners, and there's that element to his game which maybe isn't in the others' games.
I'm just a Phil Jones fan. I think I heard a story about someone was playing with him at Blackburn, and Big Sam was managing at the time, and apparently he could just willy-nilly just take it down and play a pass anywhere on the pitch, and yet every time he was taking it down and volleying it up front.
Nice.
But and they turned around, I think it was Robbie Savage was saying it. He was saying, why'd you keep doing that, mate? Why'd you keep doing that? It's like, well, I won't be able to play the next game because he'll drop me if I don't. Nice. And he's got feet and he can use them. So Harry Maguire makes mistakes, and Phil Jones,
big lad Maguire though.
Phil, to be fair,
big lad doesn't make the England team.
But he's a
How
typical.
many big lads are in the Spanish
He's
team?
a typical English centre back.
Jones is one of Jones' biggest underrated assets. Is that he's actually pretty quick. He's one of the top 5 quickest United players in the squad. And United are not a slow squad by any means.
Yeah.
Although he does have his mistakes, he gave away that penalty. He is a little bit problematic in some areas, but I think in this setting, as one of those 3, he's as like I said, he's solid enough to be there. Whether you swap him out for various tactical reasons, different games is a different discussion. But for Tunisia, for sure, especially when Tunisia are going to play on the break, they're going to try and put balls in behind. It's got to be Jones.
I'm going to stop you. I'll go Cahill, Stones, Walker at the back 3.
Okay.
We're running over again. We're about to run out of time. So let's do wing backs very quickly. On the right, any objections with Trippier?
No.
Would anyone play Alexander-Arnold ahead of him?
No.
I think the more interesting side is the left side. We've already talked about this off camera. We're going to disagree on this. Left back, I say Rose, purely because he's got a left foot. Young is going to have to turn in and hit it with his right foot. We've seen this before with England teams. It doesn't work.
Young's accuracy and power and precision on that right foot to cut back in and play it through is incredible. We're talking about the first game here. We're not talking about Belgium. We're not talking about the more complex games going further forward.
Yeah.
If you want someone to run down the left, cut back inside, ping it in for Kane to head it in. Young is your man, and Young is the one who's going to get you those 4 or 5 crosses per game that are going to be goal-scoring opportunities that will set England up to get that goal difference early on.
All right, well, you're a United fan. I'm a Tottenham fan. So this was perhaps inevitable. Let's go to a neutral, get the decisive word on this. Very quickly.
Jamal Asset, no. Young, sorry Dave.
Why?
Danny Rose hasn't played all year.
Yeah. Is that purely
That's
why?
it.
Yeah.
I'm 50-50 about picking picking Stones in the middle for the same reason. He just hasn't played, and I think I'm not sure he deserves it.
All right, well there we go. That's our thoughts on the goalkeeping and defending situation. In just a second, we're going to talk about the other half of the pitch for England on Monday night. All right, we've talked about the back half of the field for England on Monday night. Let's now talk about the area, the attacking half of the field, if you like, and that's the area where I think there's more debate to be had, perhaps, about the formation. Because we know what Southgate's going to do at the back. We don't necessarily know what he's going to do with his front 5. Shall I go first? I'll tell you what I think.
Yeah, go on.
And this is, remember, we're talking about specifically against Tunisia. I'm not saying I would do this against Belgium in particular.
Yeah.
But with Tunisia, I think you can afford to be bold. So I think you played just one in the centre of midfield. It pains me to say this. I probably don't think it should be Dyer. It's got to be. It's got to be either Henderson. Or if you want to be really bold, but then this is someone who doesn't necessarily have quite the sort of defensive capabilities maybe of a Henderson. But I like Loftus-Cheek.
No,
I really like Loftus-Cheek. I think you can have
not in that central holding role. You've got to look at distribution. You've got to look at their ability to defend. It's not going to
maybe.
All
right, okay. Let's say Henderson. I think I would go Henderson. I think if I was playing 2. I would probably put Loftus-Cheek in there if I was playing 2 in the middle. Then I would have I'd have Kane as a lone striker, but I would have attacking three in the middle behind him. I would have Ali right behind him going centrally, probably Sterling up the right, and then you've got that Lingard question. I think I'd play Rashford. I go Rashford left, Sterling right, Ali middle, Kane top.
I think if you're playing left, then Rashford plays on the left, Lingard plays on the right. So then that's your choices there. So you've got you're really picking.
You'd rather play Sterling on the right.
But you're picking Sterling versus Lingard.
Yeah.
Or you're picking Rashford is the one who's your natural left-sided midfield, natural attacking midfielder. So
what are you doing? Give us your 5.
I'm probably pretty similar. I think Dyer. I think Dyer takes that place in that sense.
Why Dyer over Henderson?
Dyer, I think, is slightly more authoritative. I think that he's also more suited to play. He's been playing more in that centre-back position, especially when you're playing him as a far more defensively minded player than Henderson, who has a bit more inclination to step up through into that final third.
That's why I'd play Henderson. That's specifically why I would say Henderson over Dyer, because it's Tunisia.
No, but I think England are we have the susceptibility to be hit on the break in these kind of shit games. In these kind of games, we're playing against teams we underestimate and therefore have the odd goal go against us. I think Dyer playing there defends us against that.
Okay.
I think you take Rashford on the left. I think you take Sterling on the right, and then Kane through the middle and Dele Alli. I agree on the rest of that, but I think that you take Dyer as that holding midfielder.
All right, Louch, what's yours?
Henderson.
Yeah. On his own?
In the pivot, on his own.
Yeah.
And then Ali,
in the middle.
Lingard, Sterling, and Kane.
Lining up how? A 3 behind Kane?
It'll be a 3 with Sterling in a free role.
Right,
that's how we'll play it. He had Rashford in the free role against Costa Rica at Ellen Road.
But does Rashford's goal against Costa Rica not sway you anyway? Does Rashford's ability to create something?
Yeah, that is interesting. As you were talking about it, that was interesting. So I was watching the Uruguay game today. They lacked a spark. Yeah. You know, they really.
And he seems hungry, doesn't he, Rashford? I mean, I'm not saying Lingard doesn't.
And he's got the skill to beat the man. When you've got 2 banks of 4, like Sterling can do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's irrefutable.
Sterling can't finish.
Okay, Sterling. Yeah, but he can do the skill. Rashford as well might be a good shout for those 2 easier games, but then you're losing a bit of balance. And Dele Alli he's always in the right area to finish it off, and so I'd probably edge Ali over Rashford.
The only thing that goes against Rashford is that he's been out of full training recently. He's only just jumped back into full training. Yeah. So if you were going to give him the full time to rehabilitate and get back in, maybe you leave him until the next fixture. But I would take the chance of putting him forward anyway.
Okay. All right, so we've got disagreement possibly on Rashford / Lingard. We've got disagreement maybe on that central midfield position. But otherwise, we're pretty much all on the same page. So
we're on Gareth's page.
That's our winning 11 for Monday night. All right, we've talked about what team we'd play. But now let's get to the big question. We asked this briefly on our last episode, but let's do it again. Now we are pretty much on the eve of the first England game of this World Cup. It has been a long and painful road for England fans, I think it's fair to say, over the last 10 years really, but certainly over the last 4. Went out in the group stages in 2014, the absolute catastrophe against Iceland 2 years ago. We are hurting. Can this World Cup heal us somewhat? Now, Alex Louch, you have been relentlessly negative throughout the season whenever we've talked about this on the podcast. Will you please be a bit more upbeat now we are just before the game?
Well, Dave, I have to say I've time and again made the point that people are over-egging it, and now we come to it, and I've been completely right. The whole season.
I was getting excited then.
The whole season. Oh. It's going to be a disaster yet again. Like, I love how in the last 3 weeks, everyone's gone, I love this England team. Do you know what? That media session, I love him. The way that Sun paper treated Raheem's disgusting.
Right. I explained.
And now everyone's saying, do you know what? Quarter-final, semi-final. We could go. Shit. People are saying on the we can go all the way.
Hear me out.
We're not getting out the group.
When I say hear me out, I mean shut up. Now, I said this, I tried to explain this before, but I'll explain it again. I've looked through this massive wall chart behind me and worked out some various permutations of what could happen here.
Okay.
If, and this is a huge if, if Germany or Brazil, but not both, came second rather than first in their group, then depending on whether we came first or second, we could dodge both of them in the quarterfinals.
Okay.
And therefore we'd end up playing up probably Serbia or Mexico in the quarterfinals.
Okay.
So there is a plausible route, granted depending on how groups go, for us to get to the semi-finals.
That's the if, Dave, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the second if. The first if is getting out of here. Which we haven't done. Tournament. We haven't got out of Group G. We've never escaped.
Our real competition. If you're thinking that real competition for second place, we treat Belgium as that league above, which are not really that league above. We talk Belgium as the certainty. You're saying that England versus Tunisia is the crunch match. Is the match that's going to determine.
No, it's going to be a 0-0 draw, and we're all going to be miserable come Tuesday. I'm sorry, guys. Book a good holiday because England aren't going anywhere.
It's just, relentless is the word. You are so
I've
depressing.
got the bet on for that we won't leave the group. And it's going to come in.
Oh, great. Brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
So you put money on it as well.
Patriotic.
Later on, by the way, Predict-O-Pup, who has been a hit from our first episode, she's going to predict who is going to win the England-Tunisia game. But we haven't heard from Alex Dugan. Dugan, what's going to happen?
Louch is full of pessimism.
Yeah.
It's infectious, but frustrating at exactly the same measures. I can see us probably drawing with Belgium in a probably pretty drab 1-1 draw. Which means that the rest of it comes down to how we play against Tunisia, how we play against Panama.
It won't be a drab 1-1 draw if there's still reasons for both teams to be playing.
Well,
right?
No, but I can see it being very dull. I can see that Southgate setting up to say, right, we're probably through given the results that we've had. I imagine we'll probably put a few past Panama, definitely, and Tunisia we should put at least 2 past. And we're sitting there and thinking, okay, cool. So we need to, if we draw this game, we're fine. We've got the goal difference to go past these people, and it doesn't matter. So I can see that happening, and we could probably maybe edging first, or more likely coming second in the group. Which you probably disagree with. You think we're going to pump Belgium, don't you? You think we're going to go through him?
I think we've got a 50-50 chance of winning the group because I think we'll be. I don't think we'll lose to them. I think we'll probably draw with Belgium.
Yeah.
So I think I can see the group ending on 7 points each, and then it depends on who's done Tunisia and Panama by more, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, you think Kane's going to blast like 3 each?
That wouldn't surprise me.
Do you not remember this lot?
This lot being who? What, Costa Rica?
Iceland.
Iceland. Do you remember Iceland?
That's not Iceland.
Actually, you could point to 3 of the 4 teams on that in Group E as ones we've had recent problems with in World Cups.
That's very true.
There we are. Well, we'll see, won't we, Louch? We'll see what happens. It all begins very, very soon. I'm so excited. It's ridiculous. England, Tunisia, coming up very shortly.
Ugh.
All right, time for my favourite part of the show. It's the quiz. And what a quiz is going to be. This is a special. You'll enjoy this, given how optimistic you are about England. It is an England-Tunisia quiz. Not everything about England and Tunisia, but there is an England versus Tunisia line running through this week's quiz. So without further ado, let's find out who will be today's quiz champion. Will it be Louch or will it be Dugan? 3 rounds of questions. Our first round, as it was on our last episode, is the 1-2, where I'm gonna ask a question. We're gonna bounce back between you guys for different answers until one of you gets the answer wrong. Each of these 3 questions in this round, the winner gets 3 points for each time they manage to outlast their opponent. Okay?
This is going to be terrible.
All right. Question number 1 in today's 1-2 round. Can you name any African country that has played in a World Cup finals?
What finals?
As in the tournament.
The tournament.
Not the final.
Yeah, who starts?
Dugan, you can start.
Nigeria.
Nigeria, yes.
Ghana.
Ghana is correct.
Senegal.
Senegal is correct as well.
Cameroon.
Cameroon, yes.
Egypt.
Egypt, yes.
South Africa.
Yes.
Morocco.
Morocco, yes. And now
we
gets
had
tricky.
Tunisia.
We have just had Tunisia, yeah.
Okay. And now it gets tricky.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Depends how good your knowledge is, doesn't it?
Ivory Coast.
Yes.
Oh. We had that one already. Say Ghana. We've had Ghana.
Ghana we've had.
No,
From now on, I've given you one each.
All
If
right,
you say one that's
yeah,
already
fair,
been said, I'm
fair.
counting that as a defeat.
That's a fair game.
And also, there's a time limit here.
Yeah, I'm
It's
pretty
gotta be
lost.
within a
I'm pretty
reasonable
lost
time.
to be honest.
Come on. Name a country.
Let's go Kenya.
Kenya has never been
No.
in the World Cup. So that is 3 points to Louch.
Who
to
are
start
the rest
the
of
quiz.
them?
I'll give you the full list, all right? Togo, Angola,
Togo.
Democratic Republic of Congo, Senegal.
Congo have made it in.
Once, yeah. Senegal,
Jesus.
Egypt, South
I thought
Africa,
we had Senegal.
Ivory
Yeah.
Coast, Ghana, I'm giving you the full list.
Oh,
Ghana,
right.
Algeria, Morocco,
Oh,
Tunisia,
Algeria.
Nigeria, Cameroon. Yeah, Algeria was the one.
Nigeria.
We said
I said Nigeria, but no
Algeria, yeah.
So there we are. All right.
Alrighty.
Question 2 of today's 1-2 round, with Louch having a 3 points to 0 lead. Did you know that Monday's game against Tunisia will actually be only the third time ever that these two teams have competed against each other? The last time was in Group G of the World Cup
What?
in Europe 20 years ago in
No
1998. And so, can you name any member of the England squad in France 98? We will start with Louch this time.
Squad.
Yeah,
Shearer.
Shearer is correct.
Owen.
Owen, yes.
Sheringham.
Yes.
Beckham.
Yes.
Paul Ince.
Yes.
Gary Neville.
Gary Neville, yes.
Gareth Southgate.
Gareth Southgate, yes.
David Seaman.
Yes.
Paul Scholes.
Yes. Paul Scholes scored in that game, in fact.
He did.
Hey.
Corker as well, it was.
And it was on a Monday night.
Yep, it was. Actually, it was afternoon. It was during school time. I
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
remember it well.
Heskey.
Emil Heskey, no.
What?
Yes!
What?
Too early.
Come on!
98.
Too early for Heskey. Oh,
He was just
no.
about doing it at Leicester then.
Oh, jeez.
Here's,
So who?
here's the list. Flowers, Martin and Seaman as goalkeepers. There's
Oh.
Adams, Campbell, Ferdinand, Keown, Lasso,
Ferdinand was
Neville and
early.
Southgate.
Graham Lasso played
Yeah.
the back.
Batty, Beckham, Ince, Robert Lee, Steve McManaman, Paul
Robert
Scholes,
Lee.
Darren Anderton, and then Les Ferdinand, Paul Merson, Owen Shearer, Sheringham.
Paul
I've got the
Merson played that far
the
late.
medals for that team.
Have you?
Wow.
I've
You
got
know,
the
Oh, look at the album with the medals, yeah.
I've got these things for them. The little big head things. All right, so that's 6-0 Louch.
I'm getting
You
battered.
need you're
Battered.
going first this time.
Alright.
So
It doesn't help if
you,
the topic's not
you
good.
can't leave round 1 9-0 down. That's not a great situation to
can.
be in. Last question in today's 1-2 round. Can you name any World Cup host city from this decade? So that's any World Cup host city from
decade?
South Africa, Brazil, or Russia.
So Russia counts.
Yeah, including
Okay.
any from those 3 tournaments.
Well,
Do you think you're going
Moscow.
first? Moscow is indeed a host city.
Kaliningrad.
Kaliningrad,
That's exactly what I was
yes.
Cape Town.
Cape Town, yes.
Johannesburg.
Johannesburg, yes.
Rio de Janeiro.
Yes.
Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo, yes.
St. Petersburg.
Yes.
Belo Horizonte.
Yes.
Strong choice. Manaus.
Manaus, yes. That's where England played their first game, wasn't it?
The stadium that was is now just a receptacle of bird shit.
Yes. Was that Italy, that game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
England, Italy, yeah. Where are they this year? Sorry.
Durban.
Let's not get cocky.
Durban.
Durban's correct, yes.
You said Johannesburg?
Yes.
We have said Johannesburg.
That was a question, that wasn't his answer.
Yeah,
so
we
allow
said
it.
Johannesburg.
Wow.
I'm
Tricky now, though.
going to go for Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo has been said again. I'm not giving that to you twice.
Can I keep
so-
going?
Go on then.
Port Elizabeth.
Yes.
Yeah, Port Elizabeth.
Vision. Have I said Nizhny Novgorod?
What?
Nizhny
Novgorod.
Novgorod.
Oh, Nizhny
Nizhny
Novgorod.
Novgorod.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't said Sochi.
Yeah, you haven't said
Yeah.
Sochi.
Sochi. Ekaterinburg.
So I'll give you all of them. I'll just give you all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, Port Elizabeth, Nelspruit, Polokwane, Bloemfontein, Rustenburg,
Bloemfontein.
Pretoria. That's the South African ones. In Brazil, Belo Horizonte, Brasilia. No one said that. Curitiba, Curitiba, Fortaleza, Manaus, Natal, Porto Alegre, Recife, Rio de Janeiro, Salvador, Sao Paulo. That's Brazil. And then Kaliningrad, Kazan, Moscow, Nizhny Novgorod, Rostov-on-Don, St. Petersburg, Samara, Saransk, Sochi, Volgograd, and Yekaterinburg, which is where the Iran game, or the Egypt game was.
With the huge outdoors
the stands, the
temporary
when you're at the top, it looks like you're watching it through a TV.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely.
Also,
brilliant.
though, 9-0.
Yeah.
9-0.
9-0.
Louch, yeah.
All right, now round 2 is a guest round. So we're having a different round 2 every quiz. Round 1 and 3 are the same each time. You'll like this.
Right.
Today's round 2 is called Footballer, Oligarch, or Bond Villain. And so I'm going to give you 3 Russian names. You have to tell me which of them is which. One of the 3 names will be a Bond villain. One of them will be from the list of top 25 Russian oligarchs, as identified by the American government earlier this year. And one will be a member of the 2018 Russia squad. Do you understand the rules? 3 points each time you get one right. You're going to have 3 questions each.
Okay.
Louch, you're in the lead. You're going to go first. So, the 3 names for you are Andrei Kozitsyn, Alexander Samedov, and Aristotle Christatos. So I'll give you the last names again. Kozitsyn, Samedov, and Christatos. Which one? So let's start with...
Samedov, Bond villain.
Yep. Okay.
Christatov, footballer.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other one?
Kozitsyn
oligarch.
is wrong. Kozitsyn is correct. He is worth $4.8 billion. Manages a copper producing company in Russia.
Very legit.
Samedov, Alexander Samedov, plays for Spartak Moscow as a right-sided right back, right wing back. And Aristotle Christatos is a Bond villain. He's a drug smuggler and Soviet
Should have
agent.
known with the first name.
Which film?
Shot by Bond. Now, this is from one of the books.
Oh,
from a short story called Riziko.
Oh,
There we are. So no points for
his
you.
first
Louch.
name was Aristotle.
Okay,
Yeah.
your first question in this round.
Yep.
Here are your 3 names, Dugan. Victor Zokas, Alisha Usmanov, and Yuri Zhirkov.
Just give him an open goal.
Victor Zokas, Alisha Usmanov,
Well, Usmanov is the
and
oligarch.
Yuri Zhirkov. Okay. Then
Zhirkov is the footballer.
Yeah.
And then the other one's the Bond villain.
What?
is correct.
This is...
Zhirkov plays for Zenit St. Petersburg,
Yep.
midfielder. Usmanov is worth $16 billion. He was an early investor in Facebook and, of course, owns shares in Arsenal.
Yep.
And Zokas, however you say it, was the guy played by Robert Carlyle in The World Is Not Enough, one of the
okay.
Piers Brosnan Bond films. He wanted to detonate a nuclear submarine in the waters of Istanbul, but he died. He was impaled by a plutonium rod and shot out of the sub's reactor
that was
core
great.
at high speed by James Bond. What way to go.
With
eh?
the half-eared
Fantastic.
Here we are. Louch,
female lead, wasn't it?
what are you mumbling about?
She had like an earring that was half her ear, didn't she? The world is not
Oh, God.
enough.
Let's move on quickly. That's your second question. It's 9-3 now. Coming back into
Come on.
this. Here's your 3 names.
With an open
Ready?
goal.
Fyodor Kudryashov. Konstantin Nikolaevich Chernov. And Dmitry Kamenshik.
Okay, so how come he
So-
had 2 immediately obvious answers?
You're winning. How can you be a conspiracy theorist about a competition you're winning?
Conspiracy
This
theorist.
is like when Trump
news.
complained about the votes of the election he won. Kudryashov, Chernov, Kamenshik.
So the first one is the Bond villain.
Okay.
The second one's the oligarch. Third one's footballer.
All 3 of those are completely wrong. Kudryashov is a defender for Rubin Kazan in the Russian league. He is a footballer. Chernov is a Bond villain from a book, No Deals, Mr. Bond. He's a hired assassin who tries to kill everyone from a botched espionage mission. And Kamenshik is a billionaire. He owns Moscow's Domodedovo airport. Was briefly held responsible for a 2011 terrorist attack at his own airport, and a criminal case was opened against him, but later dropped.
Shock.
There we are. No points for you again, Louch. You're not very good at this round. Dugan, your second
Give me the
question.
names.
3 names. Iskander Makhmudov, Yevgeny Yushkevich, and Andrei Semyonov. So the last names again: Makhmudov, Yushkevich, Semyonov.
I'm going to go oligarch, Bond villain, football player, in that order.
Is correct.
Yes!
Makhmudov is worth $7.2 billion. Spain filed money laundering charges against him in 2009 and later handed the case over to Russian authorities, who had quietly dropped it.
Yeah, shock.
Yushkevich is the villain from The Man from Barbarossa, another Bond novel. Tried to supply Iraq with nuclear weapons, but his ship was blown up and he died. Very sad. And Semyonov is a defender for Akhmat Grozny and plays in the Russian World Cup squad. 9-6.
So Dugan takes
Bringing
the luck
it
round.
back.
The comeback is on.
Is there another one of these?
One more each.
3 more.
Oh, for God's sake.
You should be pleased there's another one.
It's
You need to
Novichok bait.
redeem
isn't it?
yourself. All right, here's your last one, Louch. Try and get this one right
Great,
at least.
thanks.
Vladimir Gabulov,
Okay, never heard of him.
Oleg Deripaska,
Oh, yep, from the other.
and Konstantin Romanos.
No?
So Gabulov, Deripaska, Romanos.
Ah, so we're into the land of complete luck once again.
Go on then. You want the names one more time?
Which one?
Gabulov is what?
Brexit.
Is what?
Brexit.
Is Brexit? Doesn't make sense.
No, is the oligarch,
Okay.
the footballer, and then the bond.
Yeah, you're wrong. Gabulov is the goalkeeper for Bruges, plays in the Russian team. Deripaska is oligarch who's employed Paul Manafort, the former campaign manager.
He's in jail
for,
at the moment as well.
Donald Trump. Is he in jail? Okay.
Yeah.
And Romanos is from The Facts of Death, a Bond novel, who tried to instigate a war between Greece and Turkey by firing a nuclear
you
missile
read
into
those
Turkey.
novels?
All of them. Last question. Dugan, you can tie this up here at 9 points all if you get this one right.
Literally, if you...
Last question of the round. Here it is. 3 names for you. Georgy Koskov, Alexei Miranchuk, and Dmitry Rybolovlev. Georgy Koskov, Alexei Miranchuk, Dmitry Rybolovlev.
We go Bond football oligarch.
Is correct.
Yes!
Unbelievably. That is an unbelievable round from Alex Dugan. Georgy Koskov was in the film The Living Daylights. He wanted to supply the Soviets with weapons for their continuing invasion of Afghanistan, the little scamp. Alexei Miranchuk is a forward, plays for Lokomotiv Moscow and is in the Russian squad. And Rybolovlev is an oligarch. He's worth $7.4 billion. He owns Donald Trump's former mansion in Palm Beach and also owns AS Monaco. There we are. After round 2, unbelievably,
The luck round.
what a knife edge. It is 9-all from a 9-0 lead.
So the skill
What?
round was just, and that was...
You are such a grump.
Funny
Unbelievable.
that.
Right.
I bet he's bet on England to get out the group stage as
Well,
well.
I hope he's right.
Come
Anyway.
on.
Right, last round, the quick fire round. You are going to get 60 seconds each. I will ask you as many questions as we can get into that time, and then whoever has the most points at the end is victorious.
Can we pass?
It is very easy to tell the scores at the moment. You can pass if you want. Yeah, of course you
Is
can.
that mastermind?
It is a draw, so this is a straight shootout. Winner of this round wins the quiz. Here we go. Who are we going to do first? Since you're complaining, I'll let you choose. Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go second.
All right, Alex, do. I'm going to get my stopwatch here.
How long do I get?
You get 60 seconds. The clock will start after I've finished reading my first question. Are you ready?
Yep.
Here we go with your quickfire round for today. Who won the Golden Ball Award for Best Player at the 2010 World Cup?
Messi.
No, Diego Forlan. For which UK broadcaster is Didier Drogba serving
BBC.
as a pundit? Yes, it's BBC. When was the last time before 2018 that Italy did not qualify for a World Cup?
68.
No, it's 1958. Algeria and which other nation borders Tunisia?
Morocco.
No, it's Libya. Which Spanish club has been managed by Tony Adams?
Valencia.
No, Granada. How many World Cup finals have gone to a penalty shootout?
3.
2.
Oh.
Which of these teams was not in England and Tunisia's group in 1998? Romania, Bulgaria, Colombia.
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria is correct. True or false? Luke Skywalker's desert home in Star Wars was filmed in Tunisia.
True.
That is true. Zabivaka, this year's World Cup mascot, is what kind of animal?
Dog.
No, he's a wolf. Which English footballer played the part of Terry Brady in the 1981 film Escape to Victory?
No idea. Pass.
That was Bobby Moore, and your time is up. A slightly disappointing quickfire round there, Dugan. It's got to be said. 3 points, your score, which means you end today on a score of 12.
We got this, Putin.
3 to
We
tie.
got this, mate.
3 to tie. 4 to win.
There's a
Louch.
fucking wolf from the...
Yeah, that is the mascot. The mascot for this year's World Cup is sitting right next to Alex Dugan.
Under
Terrible.
Putin.
And
Is
he's
that
still
Keegan?
got...
Oh,
That's
that is
Kevin
Keegan.
Keegan's
Legend.
autobiography.
I didn't want to look at Keegan,
Kevin
that's
Keegan.
why.
Anyway, focus,
Love
Louch.
Keegan.
Focus. 4 points to win this. Here we go.
Keegan.
1 minute starts after I finish your first question. Here we go. Who won the Golden Ball Award for Best Player at the 2014 World Cup?
Neymar.
No, it's Lionel Messi. For which UK broadcaster is Pablo Zabaleta serving as a pundit during the World Cup?
ITV.
No, BBC. When was the last time prior to
50,
2018 that the Netherlands failed to qualify for the World Cup?
94.
2002. Costa Rica and which other nation borders Panama?
Nicaragua.
Colombia. Which Spanish club has been managed by Gary Neville?
Valencia.
Yes. How many World Cup finals have featured 7 or more goals?
10.
1.
No.
Which of these
7
teams,
or more goals in 10. Sorry, carry on.
Which of these teams was in England's World Cup 2002 group? Sweden, Denmark, or Netherlands?
Sweden.
Sweden's correct. True or false? The scenes in Raiders of the Lost Ark that are set in Egypt were actually filmed in Tunisia.
True.
That is true. Fuleko, the mascot at the 2014 World Cup, was what kind of animal? The clock has finished, so that is your last question. I'll let you answer that question. You are on 3 points, so this is either
Say
a
again.
tie or to win it. Fuleko, the mascot at the 2014 World Cup, was what kind of animal? This is it for the win.
There's a time
It's
limit
like a
here, Dave.
last-minute penalty.
There's a time limit here, Dave.
A dog.
He was an armadillo.
There's no way to get
Which
that.
means, I'm
It's quiz
afraid
off.
to tell you, it is 12 points all. Which means we're going to a tie break
Come
for
on.
today's winner. Gentlemen, can you take out, have you got your phones?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to give you, so that one of you doesn't get the chance to answer first, and then the other one can just change their answer accordingly. I'm going to ask you to write your answers to this somewhere on a phone, on your notes or something, okay, or in a text message so I can see it.
Yep.
All right. The question is, and whoever is closest to the correct answer will be the winner of today's quiz. What is the capacity of Luzhniki Stadium, the venue for this year's World Cup final? What is the capacity of Luzhniki Stadium, the venue of this year's World Cup final? Whoever is closest to the exact number will be the winner. It's the equivalent of a penalty shootout in the quiz. Let's hear it. You finished, Louch?
Yeah.
All right, put your finger down from your pad so you can't change it. I know what you're like. Dugan, go first.
74,861.
74,861. And 81,242. So you said 81,000. The correct answer is 78,011, which means just Alex Louch
You
is the winner of this episode's quiz. After all that moaning,
was 1 digit away.
Ridiculous.
Just
Wait, I
so
said
the
9
floor.
points clear.
shake the man's hand.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Fuck you.
Louch
Cheers.
versus Dugan ends in a victory for Alex Louch.
You can't glory hunt this quiz.
We'll have another quiz.
United
for it.
fan.
All right, you won.
Yeah.
Graceful,
yeah.
gracious. That's the word. Congratulations to both of you. A very hard fought
Yeah, well
quiz.
done.
That completes today's quiz. We'll be back with more from Armchair Fancast after this. All right, it's the part of the show I know everyone has been waiting for. Predict-O-Pup. My puppy Lucy has been furiously working the statistics to try and decide who she thinks is going to win each of the big games in this year's World Cup. Her record so far is not great. She called a Portugal win, which actually, if it was, what I think she didn't take account of, to be fair, is the awful refereeing, because if it wasn't for the ref allowing that Costa goal early on, it would have been a 3-2 win to Portugal. So it's the referee's fault, not her fault. So in fact, she has a 100% record if you look at it like that. Let's see what Lucy, our Predict-O-Pup, thought about who will win Monday night's game between England and Tunisia. Well, she might not be wrong, because England tend not to win their opening games in the World Cup.
There you go. I mean, I'm spot on. I'm with Predict-O-Pup.
Oh, by the way, though, you know, when England won the World Cup in 1966, do you know what the result of their first game was?
Did they draw?
Goalless draw.
Did they draw? Did their first goal not count on VAR?
In our second best ever World Cup, 1990, what was the result of the first England game?
Did we win 5-0?
No, it was a draw.
Oh, I thought you were setting that one up.
Against Republic of Ireland. Look it up. All right, that's just about all we've got time for. What are you doing the rest of the week? Well, where are you spending Monday? We're watching it together.
We're watching it together here. We get to decide whether we're going to watch it on the big screen that's behind the camera, or we go round the corner to Gloucester Arms.
Okay, and how are you going to... we're recording this on Friday, so how are you spending the weekend preparing mentally for the game?
Spend the weekend watching as many football games as I can, and watching the England rugby game on Saturday as well.
Okay.
Against South Africa.
Rugby is
rugby?
Yeah, rugby game. We're 1-0 down. We need to bring ourselves back. But no, it's great to have so many football games going on. I can wake up at 10:30 and roll out of bed, walk downstairs, put the football on at 11, and just spend the rest of the day on the sofa. It's so good.
That's what it's all about.
Alex Louch. Now, I know the answer to this question before I ask it. Tell the people at home where you are watching England-Tunisia on Monday night.
Well, funnily enough, given my attitude,
yeah,
for the whole of today,
listen to this.
I'm not. Boom! I'm not gonna watch.
Tell everyone what you're doing.
I'm gonna not suffer the miserable existence of post-England draw failure underwhelming.
He's going to a musical.
It's
going to a musical.
It's the greatest musical of all time, so you can.
Which musical
Mate,
is
you
it?
love America. It's Hamilton.
Fair. That's the greatest musical.
It's not fair.
And I didn't.
You booked that so far in advance.
It was a year ago. So it's actually the fixture sex.
You know what? Anyone
FIFA.
who knows me knows I work some of the time in professional wrestling, right? Yeah. WWE. We're recording this in South Kensington. We are literally a 2-minute walk from the Royal Albert Hall. WWE are performing there on Monday night. I have a ticket to it, and I booked the ticket before I realised.
You'd rather watch England underwhelmingly draw.
I'm missing the wrestling, which is on my doorstep. The closest I've ever been to a wrestling show. Missing WWE in London to watch England-Tunisia.
Dave, are you going to the second of the two shows?
There is a Tuesday night show, which I am going to. But I have tickets to both. And that's the point. I'm missing it.
Yeah.
There you are.
Enjoy that.
When we win the World Cup, you're not allowed to celebrate.
I don't think he wants to celebrate. He would not want to celebrate England winning the World Cup.
That's not how it works.
You have to go and sit in a dark room and grumble quietly to yourself.
So when we lose, you're not allowed to...
What? I'm not allowed to what?
You're not allowed to just be miserable.
Well, why not?
Well, it's the same thing, isn't it?
No, it's not the same thing. I'm going to stop talking to you. That's about all we have time for. Thank you all for watching. Stop throwing footballers.
Stop being miserable out.
That was Pellegrini. Be careful. We'll be back.
What are you
on Tuesday. I think we're back. Stop it, both of you. We're back on Tuesday or Wednesday. Depends how quickly we get the show edited. But we will be recording, as Dugan just said, straight after the England game on Monday. So I might be in tears. It depends on how it goes. You babe. You can follow us on Twitter, Armchair Fancast. Like us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/Armchair Fancast. if you're watching us on Facebook, then don't forget we're also on YouTube. You can find us we don't have the custom URL yet on YouTube, but if you search for Armchair Fancast, you will find us on there as well. And of course, we still are a podcast. We haven't forgotten about you podcast listeners. We're on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, and SoundCloud as well. That's just about it. Louch, thank you very much. Dugan, thanks to you as well. Who's that?
Thank you to Wayne
Routledge, literally on top of the world to end the show. I've been Dave Bradshaw. Thank you for watching again, and we will see you early next week after England Tunisia for the next episode of Armchair Fancast.